Hi, this is Spring is the Action here with the quarantine edition, here with the podcast. I am Roel,
I'm Nathan.
and we're standing here. We have our special guest from the Rocky Mountain Pro Ignition Champion, Mr. Jumbo Zamore. How you been, man?
Yeah, been doing great, man. Been doing great. Oh, nice. So you're
There
rocking it. Yep.
you
What I like to
go.
see. Representing. But
So,
you
so how you
know,
been doing? Since Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling is not, in the program since the lockdown and the quarantine,
yeah.
COVID-19. What's going on with you right now?
Well, other than stating the obvious of what's going on, I've been taking the time to really I get I guess I get myself more prepared for the future. Um, Took the time to really dial in, my eating habits, my sleeping habits, health related issues, to really try to come back and be the best that I could be. So in a way, it was like a blessing in disguise because a lot of changes are happening, both in the micro and the macro. Uh, but it's really allowed me to really take a look at myself and to look at my health. And so I've been, now that the things are starting to open up back up a little bit, been doing more training, trying to get myself conditioned into better shape than I've ever been. So I'm looking to transform myself. Maybe one day I won't necessarily be Jumbo anymore, but we'll see. I just been just trying to work hard and get myself mentally and physically ready to be able to come back whenever that happens.
Before we're gonna talk about your wrestling career. What's the thing from you, Jumbo? Is what do you like to do beside wrestling? Do you like to watch any type of sports like football, basketball, whatever in your lifetime?
Yeah. So these days I haven't really watched too many sports. Like not I'm not considering like the lockdown or anything. Just like prior to that, I wasn't really watching much sports. I used to be, big football fan, basketball, um, but I've kind of been out of the loop for like five five plus years, so I'm not sure what's going on. But these days, I've just been really fascinated with history in a sense. Like I've always been a history nerd, you know, and so I've just been learning and seeing, what's going on. And as far as leisure stuff, I play games. I'll play games to pass the time when I don't feel like thinking. But for the most part, I enjoy, like I do a little bit of a day trading with stocks and crypto and things like that. Uh, um, and then I just look up history. I just try to learn stuff.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. I'm glad that you're doing good and safe beside the wrestling category. But now to the wrestling category is that what got you inspired wrestling? Like who's the first wrestler that you inspired the most that you growing up into the wrestling business?
First wrestler.
Yeah.
Oh man. So the first wrestler I seen that made me want to wrestle was Kane. But the first wrestler that like really I like dug deep and try to and really like kind of pulled me in more was Mankind. Just because of that character that he was uh, when he first debuted. That he was the problems of mankind. He was that character, and just being a kid, seeing like people that like could be that way. Like I believe that like, oh, can are there really people like Cain walking around in this world? Are there really people like mankind? And in the grand scheme of things, there kind of is. But like as a kid, I was really like just obsessed with like the creepy, mysterious characters, that are just not normal to see in your everyday life.
Anything you want to say, Nate?
Well, you like asked you literally spoke like my questions that you took my questions. My question is going back to your history. Do you have a favorite topic that interests you when you're looking for like history? Some people like learning the history of war from 1812 or something like that. Do you have like a certain time zone that you like that you
Um,
in history?
when I was a kid, I was big into like World War II era stuff, but these days I'm into all kinds, like the entire human history. I want to know. I want to understand like where we came from, what the true paths of our history and our ancestors, and when you grow up and you're taught that like conquerors basically dictate history, or they get to decide how history plays out. It made me want to dig deeper and find out, well, what's the story from those who were conquered or who didn't conquer? What's their story? If the conquerors get to decide what history looks like, I want to know what the history looks like from those who didn't get to decide, to see if it aligns or doesn't, or if there's something we're missing. But I really just want to understand who we are. It feels strange to be the only living things, as far as we know of, with this type of intelligence. you
Yeah,
know,
I always told myself, imagine like if all these, like war heroes back in the day had all the technology we have, it'd be scary to look at. Like in 2020, would it be like today?
oh yeah, and technology is only getting, or progression of things, our innovation is only getting, faster and faster as the years
Instead of
go
like
by. So
saying telegram, telegram, like that,
yeah, like
like
just in the
having
last 100 years,
like
like in 100 years, we went from, like horse and carriage, no, hardly or no electricity really, to what we're at today. Imagine the next 100 years. Like who knows
kind of
what
scared for
that
it.
could bring them. Yeah, we could have teleportation. We could have gravity. Technology. We could have all sorts of things that we can't even.
Our president could be an alien.
Yeah, aliens could be right around the corner, right amongst us. All sorts of things. Yeah, we next. To me, it's exciting. Uh, there's no point in being scared, because like when you look at history and the things we worry about today, they're very similar to. You start to see the trend that like people worried about this stuff all the time, like a lot of the stuff that people like, that humanity as a whole have like struggled through in present times. We've gone through it before in different shapes and forms in our past. So nothing's new under the sun. Everything there is to know, and that there is to learn is out there. So I don't think we should ever be shocked or worried about the future, because I think we just always, things go in cycles.
Yeah, sometimes I even feel like we're like living in the future right now. We just don't know
Yeah, we could all be in pods.
All right, we want to back to the wrestling topic. Is that want to tell me about more about your character? What is Jumbo Zamore? As he tell me and describe what that character's feeling and thoughts about him.
So Jumbo is Zamore. He is a very hedonistic, pompous, almost like a Greek Roman emperor esque type of character. He, a modern day Xerxes in a sense, like all about you know, being, everything is selfish to him, being the best, being the best at everything he does, being the best, wearing the best stuff, just outwardly expressing that, hey, I'm number one, you should look at me, and giving in to all the pleasures of life, like good food, good company, good drinks, good uh, vacation spots, things like that. So basically, that character kind of comes from uh, seeing as a kid, you know, uh, what people kind of like. Uh, it was almost like they mocked, but at the same time, people wanted to be that. Like that's why a character like Trump got so popular before even being president, is because that was the thing. Like people wanted to be that, while at the same time saying like it's not good to be that, but everybody wanted to have the good life.
Um,
uh, you
did you
know
see your character Wise? Let's just say, do you see Jumbo Zamore trying to follow the footstep like Yokozuna, like the Samoan bulldozer? What's his name?
Umaga.
Umaga.
Omaga, Rakishi. Do you see Jumbo Samar can follow those guys' footsteps?
Uh, well, I mean, it's very difficult footsteps to follow, but I'm willing to work hard at it. They're definitely a huge inspiration as to I take a little bit from them, um, into my character. Uh, Especially like with Umaga most recently, I've been really studying him and just seeing the way he walks around, his mannerisms. He was definitely a machine, like an animal. And so, I want people to remember me for being an animal as well, not just, thinking he's better than everyone. I want to show that I am and be feared.
That would be a cool team to see you and Umaga versus. That would be something. But man, gone too soon.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Was
Anyone.
yeah, was there any wrestling companies? Have you ever attend the event side Rocky Mountain Pro?
Can you repeat that, sorry?
Was there any other wrestling companies? Have you wrestled beside Rocky Mountain Pro?
Yeah, I've gotten a chance to wrestle out in Utah for DCW. I've gotten to wrestle down in Colorado Springs um, for a charity show. I forget if it was. I don't know if it was a CSW at the time. But I've gotten to wrestle as well in Nebraska and in Chicago. So been trying to get myself out there. I figure that's the best way to gain experience and learn, is to just go out there in the world and have matches.
Is anything want to say, Nathan?
Would you, if you could wrestle like in today's like wrestling promotions, would you want to try out? Would you want to be on the NXT brand, or would you like to try AEW, or would you like Impact? Like what company stands out to you if you could have a tryout? Like what company would you want to try out for?
Oh man, well definitely all of them. I mean, I've tried out for Impact. I've learned a lot at that tryout. Um, I've I would be honored to work for any of those companies. To me, it's going, stepping into the higher, the major leagues in a sense. Uh, any of those promotions, to me, I'd be honored to work for them. And I'd give it my all, 100%.
What's it? Okay. Okay, now Rocky Mountain Pro. What's it like when you started the business? Because Rocky Mountain Pro, this is the business that me and the whole crew we first saw you wrestle in your career in Rocky Mountain Pro. So how's it like working with Rocky Mountain Pro?
Uh, it's been amazing, man. I've learned a lot. Learned a lot how the business works, what it expects out of you, the work that's required, to get it ahead. So it's definitely been a huge learning experience for me. I love it, and I think there's no other promotion here in Colorado. I think that I'd you know um, want to be at than RMP right now. 'Cause,
Yeah, that's great.
doing big things.
When you were Rocky Mountain Pro, what's it like when you first started working with the two boys, Kaden and Johnny Casanova, J.K. Pop? What's it like working with them those times?
Well, when I met him, it was awesome. Like uh, they're two cool, awesome guys from day one. It was an honor to have worked with them. Because they taught me a lot, and they kind of brought me under their wing when I was brand new, and showed me the ropes. So the times we've had hanging out and stuff like that in the past, it was.
I
But,
remember.
I'm not going to be negative about it.
I just
Uh,
remember. I just remember one day I was watching a Twitch stream, of the show, and all I saw you attack them. I was like, oh, he's a heel now. Dang. I was on the edge of my seat. I'm like, why, man? Why?
Yeah, and i- in all honesty, I felt like we could have still done a lot of things as a group, um, and maybe it was a little premature to turn, but at the end of the day, it was great. I can't knock on it because it was the direction that they wanted me to go in, and so I took it and tried to do my best with it.
yeah, it looks like since you're doing your own solo single competitor in the ring, not just only a single competitor. We just found out that last event, when we saw you, we saw that you have your side manager named Dandy. That's what you call it, right? Dandy, right? Tell,
Dandy.
yeah, tell me more about Dandy. Why did you got Dandy in side by side?
Well, when when I first met Dandy, he was you know in a rough spot. So Zamore kind of brought him under his wing because Zamore he's it's not all rainbows and sunshine in Zamore's life. There's a lot of struggle there, and he's seen the struggle that Dandy was going through. And he could relate. So he figured, hey, let's maybe he can show one individual the truth, and that'll be the spark that the world needs, to for everyone to see. So he kind of, has a for Zamora. Zamora has certain expectations, and Vandy knows that.
Well, plus it always helps to have a manager at your side during wrestling matches.
Yeah, you never know what could happen. Your opponent can pull out a weapon, and you need your manager there to point that out.
Mhm. It seems like the color purple looks good on Jumbo Samori. Is that the actual color for the character of Jumbo Samori?
Well, gold, purple, anything that's reminds you of royalty or luxury. That's
Makes me think of the
colors
Jordan.
Zamora likes to wear.
Because since I've been liking your purple color, there's also another purple color that probably missing around your body, and you know what purple color I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's the Rocky Mountain Pro Championship.
yeah.
Color.
I mean, I'm always chasing for more gold. Gold's what Zamora loves, and what he obsesses over. So being the best. So he knows that the Rocky Mountain Pro Championship is the top of the food chain for RMP. So that's what he's gonna chase.
Mm. Anything you want to say, Nate, before I say another big questions?
Can't think of anything now, so you have the floor, my friend.
Okay. Last but not least, since I know this year sucks, but tell me what the biggest event that you guys did. Remember this past January, you guys did big at the Pepsi Center. Tell me about it. You got more than 5,000 fans, watching you guys at the Rocky Mountain Pro event at the Colorado Mammoth game. And what I see is like, wow, it's like the most, audience you had from the past crowd you had for Rocky Mountain Pro events. So at the Pepsi Center, what's it like when you see all those people, the excitement, everything what happened to that stadium? Tell me about it.
Oh man, that feeling I can't describe, man. You just come alive when I walk through, when my music hit, and I can and I walk out into the sea of people. It was undescribable, man.
It's like
I
it's
came
like
alive. I felt like I was on top of the world, and just seeing all those
it's
people.
like you play a bad guy, but you got to keep your calm. Try to get angry and all that, and it's like, come on, you got goosebumps and all that, and you have to act your character as much as you can without giving away like this good feeling.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just great. Like it allowed me to be the Zamore even more. Like when you have all those people and you're a heel, you want to get that reaction. It's a lot easier too. It's people just react. It's definitely less of a work than trying to appease maybe like 5-10 people in the crowd. you know.
Yeah, I was there that night, and Michael was there that night. Our cameraman there was there that night. We witnessed it, and it was great. But the sad ending is like, I know I have to mention it. It's like when that damn mascot has to ruin your beautiful moment end of that night. You know what I mean?
Oh man. Well, I heard that he was going to be in it, but hadn't seen him the whole night, and I assumed that it wasn't going to happen. And so, I had the match won. I had it planned out in my head, you know, how it was going to happen, and I took care of it. And
Yeah,
then he came out. It kind of like, I'm going to admit I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. If they would have allowed me like 5 minutes to run in the back, towel off a little bit, maybe drink some water, then I would have came back and easily tossed them right over. But yeah, I wasn't ready.
it's so good. One of these days, you'll probably get him back when you step foot again at the Pepsi Center, right?
Yeah, well, he won a belt, so he won a title. Maybe if he's willing and he's got the courage, he'll put that title on the line against me.
Say next year, it'll be
Definitely.
Rocky.
Mhm. All right. So, before I let you go, and because we're gonna get more people coming soon in our way, the last but not least is that hopefully, when this thing clears nationwide, if Rocky Mountain Pro or any companies that you're working for, what are you looking so far in the future with Jumbo Samore?
Well, to me, I take one day at a time, but you know, I'm aiming high, man. I want to try to get to the top. Whether that be in WWE, AEW, Impact, wherever. I want to get to the top. And wherever I can work hard enough to earn a spot, I will make the best of it and try to shoot for the stars.
We're looking forward, because the last wrestling event was in Colorado, AEW, and surprisingly, we saw Abaddon and we saw Zabrivo Corrente had their matches and set foot on an AEW ring. and hopefully, one of these days when AEW or maybe WWE comes back to Colorado, hopefully we want to dream having Jumbo Samora, at least wrestle, and show what Jumbo Samora is about in those companies.
Yeah, they totally 100% deserve that opportunity. It was amazing seeing them out there, and it inspired me to work that much harder. That gave me more hope that that I could soon be there if I work hard.
Definitely. So, like I said, when me and the crew, when everybody see you, like one of these days, that you're in either AEW, WWE, Impact, we're gonna tell the whole world that say like, I told you so. Jumbo Samari did it.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate you.
All right. So, is there anything you would like to say before we sign you off with Spring is the Action?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to know more and keep up to date with Zamore, you can check me out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. At Jumbo_RMP. Check me out and you know follow me.
All right. And don't forget one thing. Please don't kill my favorite tag team, JK Pop. I'm just kidding. Just don't kill.
No promises.
All right. Well, anyways, this thank you for watching, and this is Spring is the Action. Like I've said, I'm Noel, and this is
I'm Nathan.
and then our guest with Jumbo Samora, the Ignition Champion of Rocky Mountain Pro, and we'd like to thank you for coming, and hope we see you soon.